I picked up this 2012 Polaris Razor 570. Now this is the Woods edition because I had to dig it out of some stuff. It took a little bit. It's mostly thorns. I took some of them thorn bushes with me though, right there. Now I have to deal with it. So the story I got on this unit was it was her grandfather's or her father's at this point. I don't remember. So initially when I looked at the marketplace listing for this unit, didn't really have any details. You know, doesn't run, blah, blah, blah. I messaged her. It was listed for $550. That's a no-brainer for a 2012 Razor 570. I thought it was an 800, legit. This is the only thing I know that's different on the 570 versus the 800, which I guess is the air intake ducts. Oh, that's right, so the air filters. I've never had one of these. So that means the air filter's up underneath here. Anyway, she messages me, said, hey, just be sure that we're clear this doesn't run. Yeah, obviously at that price, I assume it doesn't run. She said it needed a something to do with the brakes, which I have yet to even look at, something to do with the fuel pump, and it needed a battery. Now, from my point of view, this side is a little crusty and rusty. I did wash this on the way home, a little, not a lot. Just washed it off a bit. And this side is not, well, I guess it is a little rusty and crusty down there. So we're gonna see if this will start. Now, she also had a Corvette sitting there that was covered in pine needles. When I popped that open, that thing, it's definitely had mice under the hood. She said that's been sitting there since 2023. This has been sitting for longer. So I'm assuming this is probably gonna be worse. When I was there, I went to look to see if it had a battery because I want to know if it turns over. And lo and behold, no battery. No big deal. Battery probably wouldn't be any good anyways. So we got no battery. I checked it out. Does turn over. Motor does turn over. No fuel pump priming. I'm assuming the fuel pump's over there underneath that seat like it normally is. I've never done one of these 570s before. And check the oil, it's got oil in it. I ended up getting this thing for 400 bucks. I tried for 300. She wasn't going for that. That's all right. Let's see what this air filter looks like. I am hoping mice have not gotten a hold of this thing real bad. This last one, you gotta come from the other side. Ah, come here. Sweet. Got the airbox lid. Okay, that's a good start. Nothing. That looks like the same air filter in my truck. Wonder if it is. Doesn't look too hot, but everything in there looks nice and clean. All right, now let's check it out. See if there's even a fuel pump in it. Yeah, there's the pump. There's the pump. Go grab my jump box. So the jump box is hooked up. And it looks like we have 2,050 miles. No fuel pump priming. 400 hours, 409 hours. Should. Turns over, sounds good. What I don't want is a money pit. So let's start by seeing if we've got 12 volts coming to the fuel pump. Never mind, I'm gonna be lazy. This is a Ranger fuel pump, same thing, just longer. We'll see what happens if that one kicks on. Pump's bad. Cool, so tomorrow, we're gonna cannibalize that pump and put this in there. I don't have any gas, but we can cannibalize all of these parts right here and put that together. Instead of waiting for a pump to come in, Okay, so we got that there. Normally I wouldn't want to go through and just check all this stuff, but I don't know, I kind of want this thing to just kind of go smooth sailing, you know what I'm saying? All right, and we're gonna blow all that out. Normally this isn't something I want to do, but we're gonna check compression and sparky spark. I guess really worst case scenario, like if we've got spark here and we got compression, worst case scenario basically is if any of these sensors or actuators are bad or something like that. I got faith. Plug looks all right. Can I do this from here? Can y'all see it? I don't know. We got spark. Plus whatever that was that blew out of there. Now let's see what our compression looks like. All right, let's see. What y'all think? I can't see it, so I'm gonna guess 138 PSI. Oh, 70. Let's try that again. I gotta get all the way in here. PSI? I don't know what this should sit at. One thing I don't want to do is go dumping a bunch of money into this and find out tomorrow that she's got a rod knot. If you spend any time on Marketplace, you'll know there is no shortage of 570s with a rod knot. This is not what it looks like. So I don't have any type of spray or anything, so we're just gonna have to do it this way. Let's just see if it'll start. So I looked it up. The compression rating on this should be 90 PSI at minimum. We weren't far away from that, like maybe 80. Maybe, just maybe, we can get lucky. You know, it's just been sitting, a little bit of running, free everything up. Should be good to go. That's pretty close. Not like last week's T-Rex where it was 50% of what the other cylinder was, but there was also rust present in that one, so that kind of goes to show for it. So I'm gonna grab some stuff at Walmart in the morning and we'll jump back on this tomorrow and see if we can make this thing run and drive. I kind of started off today, I wanted to get to getting it a little bit cleaned up before I washed it, because obviously there was a lot of pine needles on it. And I did the best I could. My little trusty R2-D2 over here, I forget what this is called, chop vac. I don't know. I have no idea why I can completely forget what something's called right in the middle of talking about it. And so anyway, I got some parts too. And this morning I pulled all the accessories off of this because like this radio, what it has is like outdated auxiliary cord, Sony explodes and a bird nest. I don't know. That's not salvageable now that it's so yellowed. I will put the roof back on. The roof itself is actually pretty good. And those pieces, they'll be easier to wash, and then I can wash more of it with them off of it. So we'll be good to go. I'm about to get started on pulling that. And we're gonna see if we can swap all those internals from this Ranger pump over to this Razor pump. They're like all the same thing. The only difference is that Ranger pump is it's deeper. I don't think that will compress, although I'm going to try it. I am going to try it because we'll see. Maybe it'll work. Maybe I'm going to check also. I might have a pump. But I got some other parts in. That's the fuel pump. We've got oil filter that we already had here. This is not 100% perfect. That's the part number if anybody out there ever needs it. Not 100% perfect, but will fit. And it is 100% better than not replacing an air filter at all. It's just a little bit too wide on that direction by like a 1/16 of an inch. So I have to squeeze it in just a little bit, but I gotta get everything cleaned before I can put it back in. And we got us a new battery. Then we'll be good to go. The power steering line does not go to this. This is for my truck. And the hole puncher is also for my truck if the power steering doesn't work. Disconnect our power to the pump. Set that down there. And then our fuel line. That fuel does not smell as bad as I was expecting it to. Take a screwdriver. You want to use, if you're ever doing this, you want to use the biggest head of a screwdriver you have, because the little ones, from what I've found, if you try to use like a little screwdriver, it just digs into the plastic. It makes it just a huge pain to deal with. It doesn't come out very easy like that. Big one, couple smacks, and she's ready to go. Can y'all smell that? I bet you can smell that. Dang. Now normally I would say no, I don't want to reuse this because it has rust on it, but it's not that bad, and the fuel gauge still worked. That other pump is not going to fit. Bit of a size gap. Now this does squish. Will that squish that far though? All right, so I'm going to be honest. I've never actually done this before. We'll see how this goes. Since our fuel level sending unit of this portion actually works, I feel stupid, like I should be cannibalizing the non-OEM pump I have over there, but it's all right. We're gonna take that off. And we're gonna figure out how this works together, guys. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I'm winging it. Okay. There's the pump out. That slides on to down there. Way too easy. Looks like it's soldered on up there. Go ahead and get this soldering iron plugged in. So, I wonder if instead of doing this whole, no, because that ain't gonna work. The way that works is this is gonna pop out that way, and all of that would have to come up that way to prevent me from doing the soldering it method. Maybe. Yeah, we'll just solder it. So, there we go on that. We're gonna take off our blue and black wire on that one, and this one over here, I'm gonna let that heat up, and I think I can heat the solder to take the solder off of there. This one over here is going to be the same thing, but a different pump internally. This pump's completely different. Hopefully I didn't just break that. Come on. hanging up on these rust. Keep popping these dang clips back in. One, two, three. There we go. I don't know, guys. That might be the same pump, but... All right, so as I'm looking at this, and I could totally be wrong, I think I'm gonna try something else. I think I'm gonna try shortening this. Because if I can take this apart and that apart and switch springs and shorten these rods, that should be the only real difference between the two. The pump itself has the same amount of pressure. And then it's not such a nasty pump in there. Just how does that slide off of there? Okay, so I cut a little bit off of there, wash it off with gas. Let's see, I think it'll work now. I think it'll actually compress far enough. All right, so she fits. This connector faces the other direction for this, but outside of that, I guess I could have moved it around a little bit and shifted it, but I just had to take loose one of the mounting points right there, and it works. It's fine. It's fine. So now, put some fuel in here, put the air filter on, put the battery on. Be good to go, hopefully. Now this, picked up $5 in gas. That should be more than enough for this. My only real concern is the sending unit, saying how much fuel it has. That other fuel pump, as I started messing with it, the more and more I messed with it, the worse it looked. Like I didn't want to run that body. It was so rusty and crusty. It's janky. All right, we got us a brand new air filter going in. Battery, air filter, everything's in. Oh yeah, she's pumping too. All right, one more prime. Let's do one more. Woo-hoo-hoo! She's running. Nice! I got that for $400. That's exciting. I think I paid too much. I think I paid too much. All right. Yeah, boy, got the shifter right there. Wah! Yeah! Brakes are a little touchy. I guess until I get the rust off of them, they're getting a little bit better. Little 570 rips it. Temps are staying about right. Fuel gauge works. Everything works. 4-wheel drive, I tested that just a second ago. That works. Shoot. I overpaid for this one, boys. All right, now let's get this thing washed. I'm gonna try to bring these red plastics back a little bit. They can only do so much, but it's worth trying. All right, she turned out all right. Ain't special. It's gonna be a cheap razor. It's a 570, so I don't want to dump a ton of money into it. Don't get me wrong, it would definitely be worth a bit more if I did new tires and probably replaced this seat base, probably this whole seat, and that right there. I mean, that one's not so bad. I did spray some stuff on it, and it's a leather conditioner last night before I sat down on these, because I was a little worried they would just rip apart. But hey, it's not bad. It's not great either. I sprayed it with some new bike in a can. That stuff does a good job at bringing it out. Like, it doesn't look mint like it would have otherwise, but it looks better than that pink did, 100%. This is how you turn a $400 razor into $3,500. I believe I actually have a buyer at $3,500 as well. Don't get me, if this was absolutely perfect shape, this is a $5,000 unit with the amount of hours it has on it. It only has like 400 hours, and I don't remember the miles, but it's not that many. This is not a bad unit at all. This will be, somebody wanted something like this, it's a great unit. Probably should have just took these bars off. These bumpers don't look that great. And down here is rusty, like someone went through some beach water or something. That's my best guess. Honestly, it could probably bring $5,000 if I wanted to sit on it. I don't know. 4-wheel drive works, brakes work. She mentioned something with the brakes, but they work fine. They're a little touchy, but I'm assuming that's me wearing the rust off of these old rotors. Doesn't overheat. And this 570 surprised me. You know, I thought the 570 would be slower than the 800, but I think this is faster. It's definitely got a lot more get up and go. It gets. With hunting season right here, it'll probably sell pretty easy, because these newer ones have a much bigger bed than the first couple. So be pretty easy to fit a deer or whatever somebody wants back there, or a sport unit. You know, you never know what somebody will use it for. I just want their money. You use it for whatever you want. You can drive it into a pond for all I care. Thanks for watching. Y'all stay tuned. Coming up on next Wednesday, we will have the new podcast coming out, Marketplace Addicts. We got Brutal Parts on for the first guest. Check it out. Let me know what y'all think. See you on the next one.